You're busy. We know that. You want to get right to the heart of what matters.
Yeah.
Understand the breakthroughs without getting too bogged down.
And that's what we try to do here.
Exactly. So today we're taking a really fascinating leap, I think, into the world of voice, specifically Hume AI's brand new text-to-speech platform.
Yeah, and what makes this really interesting, especially for our listeners, is that we're not just talking about, your standard text being read aloud.
Right.
This is about tech that's actually designed to grasp and convey emotion through the voice itself.
Right.
Which is, well, think about that.
It really is something different. Forget those monotone robotic voices we've all heard, right?
Yeah.
At the core of Hume AI's innovation is this thing called Octave, and they describe it as the world's first voice-based large language model. So it's not simply reading words, it's actually, as they put it, feeling it.
And that's really the key difference we want to explore in this deep dive.
Yep. Our goal basically is to understand what sets Hume AI's approach apart from, the traditional text-to-speech systems we're used to.
And what the impact might be.
Exactly. What kind of impact this could have across, a whole range of applications that might be relevant to everyone listening.
Okay, so let's dive right into Octave then. It's this emotionally intelligent LLM. Now, what does that actually mean in practice for the AI voices it creates?
Well, what's fascinating here is how Octave uses its grasp of context. So unlike older systems that just sort of read the words off the page.
Oh, just flatly.
Yeah. Octave analyzes the text to predict the emotions and the natural rhythm, the cadence of speech that a human would likely use.
How does it do that?
So at a high level, Octave's been trained on just huge amounts of human speech and text. It learns these really subtle connections between words, situations, and how we actually express ourselves emotionally. And this lets it predict, pretty accurately actually, how a human would naturally convey a specific feeling. The result is AI voices that just sound far more natural, more expressive than those, kind of flat robotic tones we've become accustomed to.
So if the text is like a sad story, the voice won't just read the words sadly, it'll actually sound sad. That's a pretty significant leap.
It really is.
And the source mentioned you can create almost any voice you can imagine.
Precisely. The platform gives you incredible flexibility in how you design a voice. You can essentially generate almost any AI voice just by using short written prompts or even descriptive scripts.
Okay.
The examples they gave were pretty great. A sarcastic medieval peasant.
A sarcastic medieval peasant.
Right. And a warm English narrator just gives you a sense of the sheer range possible.
Wow. I can already picture some very interesting applications for the peasant one.
Definitely.
But it gets even more detailed than that, doesn't it? You can actually control the specific emotion and speaking style using just regular language.
Exactly. And this is where the level of control gets really interesting for creators. Users can directly influence how the AI voice sounds just by using natural language commands. So for instance, you can literally type "sound sarcastic" or maybe "whisper fearfully."
Just type that in.
Yeah. And the platform adjusts how it delivers the text based on that command. This kind of fine-grained control is, it's a major step forward for anyone creating audio content.
That's really powerful. And then there's this other thing, the empathic voice interface, EVI2. That sounds like it takes the interaction part even further.
It does, yeah. Building on that idea of controlling emotion and style, Hume AI also developed this empathic voice interface, EVI2. It's designed for real-time interactive conversations.
Interactive, okay.
What's really significant here is its ability to understand the emotional tone in your voice.
Ah, okay. Your voice, not just the text.
Right, your voice. And then generate a response that's actually appropriate to that tone. Plus, it can mimic a huge range of personalities, accents, speaking styles. It makes the whole interaction feel much more dynamic, more human-like.
So you could potentially have a proper back and forth with an AI that gets not just what you're saying, but how you're saying it, and then responds in kind. Wow, that's quite something.
It is a big step.
And for, the developers out there listening who might want to integrate this, it sounds like Hume has made that a priority too.
Absolutely. They seem to understand that adoption relies on ease of use for developers.
Makes sense.
So Hume AI provides a really comprehensive set of tools and resources. You've got APIs for seamless integration into other apps, detailed documentation, even community support where developers can connect.
Right.
They've really focused, it seems, on making it as straightforward as possible to build this tech into different projects.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly powerful, really versatile, but the practical question for people thinking about using this is, what about the cost? What does the pricing and accessibility actually look like? How do you get started?
Right, the practicalities. So Hume AI has gone with a tiered subscription model. The aim seems to be serving a really broad spectrum, from individual creators just starting out all the way up to large organizations.
Okay.
For those just wanting to sort of dip their toes in, there's a free tier that gives you 10,000 characters per month and, importantly, unlimited custom voice creation.
Oh, unlimited voices even on free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to get a feel for what it can actually do without any commitment.
That's great. A risk-free way to try it out. What about if you need more, though, for more serious usage?
Yeah, so for individuals or maybe smaller teams with more regular needs, there are several paid tiers. There's a starter plan that's $3 a month, gives you 30,000 characters, lets you manage up to 20 projects.
Okay, pretty affordable start.
Then there's the creator tier, that's $10 monthly, bumps you up to 100,000 characters, supports up to 1,000 projects, and if you go over the character limit, you can pay for extra based on usage.
Gotcha. And then presumably it scales up quite a bit for larger teams and businesses.
Yes, exactly. For more substantial usage, they have the Pro, Scale, and Business tiers. Let's see. Pro is 500,000 characters for $50 a month.
Okay.
Scale gives you 2 million characters for $150. And the business plan includes a pretty hefty 10 million characters for $900 per month.
Wow, 10 million.
Yeah. And each of these higher tiers also offers progressively lower rates for any extra characters you might use. And they support, thousands of projects.
And what about the really big players, enterprises with massive needs?
For those really large organizations, yeah, Hume AI offers an enterprise plan that's got custom pricing tailored specifically to what they need.
Makes sense.
That can mean unlimited usage, custom legal agreements, specific security features, maybe discounted bulk pricing, priority support, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it seems they've designed the pricing to be pretty flexible across the board.
It really sounds like it. Okay, now, for what I suspect many people listening are most curious about, where could we actually see this kind of technology being used? In the real world. The sources give some really interesting examples.
Yeah, this is where the potential impact really starts to hit home, doesn't it?
Definitely.
As the source material highlights, the applications are incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
I mean, think about podcasts and voiceovers first. The ability to create unique, emotionally resonant voices, that could add a whole new layer of engagement. Imagine subtle emotional cues in a narrator's voice, really amplifying suspense in a thriller podcast.
Right. Beyond just music and sound effects.
Exactly. Stuff that previously relied heavily on sound design alone.
Absolutely. Or imagine audiobooks where every single character has a distinct, perfectly fitting voice, all generated by AI. That could make the listening experience so much more immersive.
Totally. And moving beyond just listening, think about interactive voice agents. Chatbots.
Right. Customer service bots and things.
Yeah. With this ability to not just understand your words, but also your emotional state and then respond appropriately, those interactions could become way more natural, much more effective for customer service, or even personal digital assistants.
Interesting. And the source also mentions possibilities in marketing and even mental health support. Those are fascinating areas.
They really are. In marketing, the power to generate emotionally engaging voice content could significantly strengthen that connection someone feels with a brand.
I can see that.
And in mental health apps, imagine AI companions that can respond with genuine sounding empathy and understanding, offering a supportive presence.
Yeah.
Though it's crucial to add, this would likely be a tool to augment human interaction and expertise, not replace it, obviously.
Of course, yeah. That's important.
But as the source suggests, the potential uses really do feel, almost limitless at this stage.
So as we kind of start to wrap up this deep dive then, what's the core message here? What really makes Hume AI's platform stand out in this whole text-to-speech landscape?
I think the fundamental differentiator really is its focus on creating AI voices that aren't just clear, but are genuinely emotionally expressive and aware of the context.
Right, not just reading, but performing in a sense.
Yeah. Performing, or perhaps even understanding on some level. It's about moving beyond just converting words to sound and actually trying to imbue that sound with, something like genuine feeling.
And it sounds like they've backed that vision up with a pretty comprehensive platform, sophisticated features, flexible access.
Precisely. You've got the combination of their innovative Octave LLM, the really detailed control users get over voice design and emotion, the interactive possibilities with EVI2, and crucially, those accessible developer tools. It makes for a very compelling package overall.
Yeah, it really does. So, as you listen and consider all of this, it really makes you think, doesn't it? How might this kind of tech ultimately change the way we all interact with digital content? Maybe even with each other?
Hmm.
What new kinds of communication or maybe creative expression might open up when AI can truly, feel or at least convincingly portray feeling and convey that emotion through voice? It's definitely something to ponder.
Welcome to Hume AI, text-to-speech guide. Open your browser. Begin by launching your web browser and navigating to Hume AI. Alternatively, you can click the link provided in the description. Access the text-to-speech (TST) tool. Once on the site, locate and open the APS AI-powered speech text-to-speech tool. Enter your script input, the script or text you want to convert into voice. Select Voice Settings. Choose the General Voice option. You will be presented with 3 distinct voice choices, each offering unique tonalities. Select the one that suits your needs. Proceed to the next step. Click Next to continue. Name your voice file. Assign a name to your voice project. This is a required field. Save and preview. Save the voice. Your newly created voice file will now appear in your list of saved voices. From here, you can listen to the voice preview, download the file, access additional settings under More Options, create voice from text or auto-generate. You can either manually input text to generate voice, use the auto-generate feature for dynamic synthesis, fine-tune with Generous Sampler. After generation, click on Generous Sampler to further refine your output. Enter a name for the generated voice. Access advanced options. Download or edit your voice file. Thank you for using Hume AI's text-to-speech service.